Welcome back to B.Y.O.B.
That's it, B.Y.O.B. Bring your own Bible. We believe the Bible is basic instructions before leaving earth. The Bible is a book of principles, prophecies, promises, and plans that God has set aside so we can walk life out in purpose. And we're excited about what God is doing, and we're excited about the purpose that God has for us. We're going live.
Love and marriage, love and
Come on.
marriage. They go together like a horse and carriage. This I tell you, brother. You can't have one without the other. See, I like that you get in on this corny stuff with me.
We'll go together,
we do not own the rights to that music, okay?
You finna be blocked.
Just so we don't get blocked. But it's our anniversary month.
Yeah.
It's all about love and the woo woo woo.
What is it? Love and happiness.
So what we decided, a lot of the times, couples, pastors, life coaches, they talk about relationships in February. And we get so stuck on it being Love Month because of Valentine's Day. But we wanted to share our love story and some biblical principles on how to maintain a godly marriage during our anniversary month. So welcome.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
So a lot of times people ask us,
how did y'all do it?
How y'all do that?
How can you stay together?
Like we're 20 years in. We're celebrating year 20 of being married.
Yeah.
We've been together longer, probably together maybe like 25, 26 years.
Yeah,
but earpiece.
Since 99.
Yeah, so been together for a while, married for 20 years, and people oftentimes ask us, how do you do it? Yeah. So y'all know how sometimes you think back on something that has happened in your life and you say, man, if I knew then what I know now, things would be different.
Yeah.
That's where our topic for this week for this month comes from, hindsight 2020. Things that we have learned now
in 20 years
that had we known then could have saved us some headaches and some arguments.
Headaches, and frustration.
Yeah.
You had to go through it if you just communicating and stuff like that. So the hindsight 2020 is us looking back over 20 years of our marriage and sharing with you some biblical principles that we found in scriptures. And of course, we'll pull some of our favorite characters out the Bible that kind of help emphasize some of these points. But definitely what I would have loved, because the scriptures don't really give you no policy or principles or details on how to date. So when it comes to a relationship, you all this ain't stuff. It's better to marry than to burn. Sitting up there, you jump and get married, and then you start burning because you got married. Because ain't nobody tell you none of the other stuff that you need to know as relate to marriage. And they just telling you, well, you shouldn't be shacking, and then here it is, you gonna get married. So then you add a problem on top of the problem because nobody really walking into it. And then I say this before we get into it: marriage license is the only license that you can get with no class attached to it. You go get driver license, you gotta take a course. You gotta sit in that course.
You gotta do a proficient license.
Well, not only sit in the course, somebody gotta watch you drive. So when you get driver license, not only is you gonna get the book knowledge, somebody gonna make sure you understand them signs.
You gonna have guidance.
Because just because you got it right on that test,
you can just be a good test taker.
But what's going on with the driving? They saying, do you know this stuff under stress and pressure? Can you perform all that better and for worse? They need to have a driver ed marriage. Can you perform doing better and worse? Sickness and health, rich and important. No, but it ain't no test for it. You get up there and say them vows, but nobody.
You just be like, we in love. We gonna get married.
I don't think
we gonna have a baby.
Oh man, you had all that going on. I don't think nobody think it can get worse. And I don't think nobody think it can be poor.
I don't think people think about the worst because you're thinking about the right now.
You just saying something. You just like stand up there, do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, so help me God. You just saying random stuff. And
he went right on into it, did y'all?
No, I'm just saying, just thinking about it out loud.
Yeah.
And you like, man, nobody really. And then all them people standing there. And this was crazy. It's like people that's married, like finally got them. You know what I'm saying? Put them in the group because you like, if you married, why y'all ain't talking to us about this? Especially people, our apprentices, like, What makes it
You know what I
happen?
found, and we getting a little bit into it a little bit, but
Okay.
I found that sometimes people harbor or they hold information to keep up with the facade. Like,
No.
I don't want you to know that me and my husband just
Crazy.
got through arguing, so I'm not gonna talk to you about arguing. I don't want you to know that me and my husband are struggling financially, so I ain't gonna talk to you about finances. I'm gonna let you find out on your own.
Hallway.
And then we'll say, but I ain't getting in nobody's business, or I don't want nobody in my business. So we don't really help each other like that. So you know, I think that.
You know, and then I said that last week we kind of got into it. I was like, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a culture thing or what, but it's like maybe generational thing. Because you know how a person that want you to struggle because they did it. Like our generation had to struggle. We had to walk. We had to walk to school, walk to work. So you mad because I got a vehicle? That's what we arguing about. Because my generation didn't have to do that, and so I don't know if it's something psychological. But my boys, I don't want my boys to have to go through what I went through. I just had a conversation with them. If you choose to walk down the path I walked, military law enforcement, you won't do no city cop. You're not gonna be in the army. We're going in the best of it. You're going Air Force, Space Force, and if you're gonna do law enforcement, CIA,
make better
FBI,
choices than what we made.
Yeah, why would
there's a better way.
I'm gonna let you do what I did like that. No, I want you to go farther than me, and I'm gonna give you all the details of the tape. And I feel like that's not something that you see on a regular basis. I don't know what it is, because that's in families too. Because I done seen families that, man, you ain't gonna tell them, hey, you'll learn. What do you mean you'll learn? Man, give me the cheat code. What they used to have in school, because I used to hate going through books, reading all of it. And what's the book is where they give you
I don't know, because I studied and I got my word.
Oh man, this lady tripping, man.
Like, I did what I was supposed to do in school.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I don't do cliff notes.
You crazy. So doing that full book report. Give me the cliff notes so I can write this book report. Yeah.
Listen, sir, we have to get into the Bible study.
Let's go.
Y'all, I don't think that was one of them deep sea squirrels that he normally go for. This was just a regular tree squirrel that you find in your backyard. And they ran around the tree a little bit. So let's get.
They closed though. They still closed though.
Let's get into what we want to be talking about for this week. So y'all know we're going to be talking about marriage this whole month, and hopefully celebrating the whole month, as well as uplifting, encouraging, and inspiring someone else along the way. So we always want to use biblical principles because it's a Bible study.
Come on.
And we want our foundation to be built on God's word, right? So I hope and pray that if you're in a relationship, you're seeking to be in a relationship, you're trying to better your relationship, that your first thing is to make God your foundation. Because if your foundation isn't stable, you're going to fall over, you're going to give up, you're going to tap out, all of the things. So we are going to start this week with the first couple. Like, duh, y'all knew that was coming.
The blueprint.
Adam and Eve. Let's talk about Adam and Eve. So, first couple, right? And I'm not going to go and read the passages of scripture or anything like that today. I just want to take a few little things out. So Genesis chapter 2, verses 18 through 25, it talks about how God, he said, it's not good that man should be alone, right? So he creates a helper for Adam by taking something that he already had in him, right? He took from him to create this woman. God could have chosen or made anything from anything. He could have made it to where Adam could have been talking to the animals or whatever.
Right.
But it's very significant that he allowed Adam to go into a deep sleep and he pulled something out of him to create this helper.
Yeah.
I think that as a woman, especially in this 21st century, I think we get so caught up sometimes in trying to be the independent woman, holding my own, doing my own. Oh, no man tell me that I don't need a man. I don't need no man because God got me up. All of that. Yeah. No.
When you were made for a man.
We were made
for a man.
For a man.
Yeah.
Some of us say things out of hurt, out of disappointment, because we don't have what we desire. But in order for us to get the things that we desire, you have to exemplify or show the characteristics and attributes to attract that thing.
Yeah.
Something you said, and I told you I laugh every day.
What?
Now I get mad and I have my little moments, but I'm gonna still turn around at some point and I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna get over whatever made me mad.
Come on now.
So he always made me laugh. This man said, "Why women be wanting a Prince Charming, but they not Cinderella? They be wanting the Boaz, but won't get on the Bowflex or Biflex. What's the thing called? Bowflex."
Yeah.
And I just laughed because I was like, you know what? I understand the point. It's like
expectation for a man is way up here, but you don't have to meet nothing.
We do put a lot of expectations on you because I'm gonna say, at least for me, I like romance movies and things that ultimately lead to love and peace and happiness and all things girly, right? So when I will watch videos or TV shows or movies with those things in it, I picture myself in the big princess gown walking down the aisle, and I'm gonna get married and have the babies. And it may not have been a white picket fence, but I never pictured the arguments, the fights, the wanting to leave, the combining the finances, the learning a whole nother person and not having to do what that person says do, because it's not about do what I say, no man. It's not like that. But in people's head, and it's not. It wasn't that, but it was learning the whole or the true concept of the give and the take. Right. How do I compliment you? How do I partner with you? How do we do this together? Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of people struggle, women, because I can't talk from a man's perspective, but I think a lot of us struggle with that because of the picture that has been painted. Yeah.
And a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
And I think it come for two things. Identity crisis for one. When a man don't know what it means to be a man, and a woman don't know what it means to be a woman. And then part two, they roll into not knowing your roles. And I think that's where we fall into that. So the first point was what my wife getting at when she talking about Adam and Eve. First point was, in a marriage, in a relationship, it got to start with God. Now, if you ain't on the Bible stuff with us, BYOB, this might be the wrong channel for you right now, because the relationship principle we talking about, we pulling it straight from the Word of God.
And we got to share personal experience.
Yeah, we're going to share personal experience. But, this culture, some of the stuff y'all doing.
Y'all on some sus stuff.
It's not natural. It's unnatural. So unnatural stuff, you ain't going, this probably don't apply to your situation. But what I'm trying to help you on with that starting with God, let's start with what his principle and what he started. Now, we believe that he started with Adam, and he pulled Eve from Adam, and he made both of them, and it gave them dominion. If he gave them dominion, and you start studying it, he gave him power and authority. And so we say all the time and allude to, people preach that he gave Adam a job because he told him name all the animals, and he got dominion, power, or every creeping thing, the fowls of the air, everything. So if that's be the case, now he got responsibility before he meet Eve. Now Eve came out of him, it was something he needed, because God said it's not good for man to be alone. This is what I say all the time, which is crazy. It's not good for man to be alone. This is good because God is there. God is there, but he's still saying man is alone. So the question is, how can I be alone and God is present? You're alone because there's a certain part of you that God won't touch. That'll speak to all that all that misunderstanding, I want to say, or the ignorance out of teaching, saying, well, you don't need no partner. Or people saying that I don't want nobody. And it took each his own, especially God.
I really think people be lying.
But like, if God called you to be a unit, like Paul, if God called you that, but the question is, what's the thorn in your flesh? But if God did call you to be that, if he did, it's going to be proof in that, because we do believe the Holy Spirit is a keeper. So if that's the case, that's fine. But
if you want to be kept.
If you want to be kept. But human nature says, my mom said, your flesh wake up.
Baby, when she said when it wake up, it ain't going down till you're dead.
And waking up is when your flesh experiences another person. So when that happens, you're not going to want to not experience that again, because that's the way God designed it.
Your body will begin to crave for it.
So it's a help, and even before you experience
your spirit, actually.
Before you experience, you'll have a dream about it, you'll reminisce about it, stuff will come across. And in this culture, everything throwing at you. So it's like it's a built-in nature. Plus your body. Your body is telling you that woman go through a time, a month, cycle, a month. It's saying it's ready to conceive. Your body is built
that
for
man wasn't lying.
And
My
then-
mind's telling me no, but my body. Come on now,
Really,
tell
R.
me it
Kelly?
ain't. But
That's where you are.
seriously,
So R. Kelly, all right, yeah.
seriously,
So
it's the words are prophetic.
wow, bless prophet R. Kelly. So right now, put some money on it, book. So the thing is, it's important to understand that if you start with God, I'm starting with how He ordained it to be. That's why I say I apologize for any misrepresentation of what a man is. Because I hear people, women that say, man, they don't ever tell me what to do. So you came in contact with the wrong man. Yes. I told somebody, if you're not willing to submit to your partner, what the scripture is saying, dude, that ain't saying you become his servant, but submit to it, then you pick the wrong person. Like that's crazy to volunteer to be with somebody, but I ain't gonna submit to you. Then why would I be with you? Then it gotta be something there. If I don't respect you to lead me, I wouldn't submit to me. Now you causing chaos and turmoil in the household because you don't even view me like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then you gotta find it, and that comes with a little coaching, training, and finding out where I view them on that level. You okay with me leading you because I didn't prove on that level. And I say all the time, don't expect a woman to make no submission without sacrifice. The scripture says to love our wife the way Christ loved the church. Christ loved the church. He said he died for us while we were yet in sin, meaning he made the ultimate sacrifice before we made submission. I tell people all the time that marriage, that's what a relationship is. That man, you can't expect for that woman to submit to you until she didn't see the sacrifice. And sacrifice might mean you need to get off that game. Sacrifice might mean you get a second job or you do this, whatever it takes to make sure you provide for that family, dying to self, because the two shall become one flesh. Of course, you got to give up a piece of yourself. If two people becoming one flesh, something got to die out of the two. Yeah, it got to be a death. And let's be honest with this, and I'm going to let you have it. When you get married, most of the time, if you come from my background, you get married at the altar. The altar is only there for death. The only purpose of the altar is for something to die.
So now
we over sensationalize it now because you jump and you shout. But in reality, when you study what an altar is only set up for sacrifice. It's all through the scripture. Anytime you go there, something to die. So when you come on down to the altar and you say to death do his part, a piece of you dying that day. Now that's kind of a brutal way of looking. That
sounds like
I wish it was blood everywhere so you can know what you're doing. Blood, why is there blood there? That's marriage.
That's creepy.
That's marriage.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
So you were talking about how the woman will submit if the man is willing to sacrifice.
You got to.
Because that's what Christ did,
that's
right?
The principle.
And I remember early on in our marriage, I feel like I've always honored you as the head of our family, the man. But you did sacrifice, right? But sometimes I felt like you sacrificed too much. And I wanted to bring this point up because a woman may have a good man who is providing and don't mind going to work, but he working too much. He got 6 jobs. Like he ain't never at home and you're not spending time. So I wanted to bring that up just to say, even though you're sacrificing to provide for this family financially, you also going to have to make that sacrifice to make sure that you're there for them mentally, physically, emotionally, because that is what our problem was. I felt like I was a single mom for a little while and it was making me angry with you. But I still tried to, help and do my part, make sure the home was taken care of, the kids taken care of. I made sure I clean and I cook and I do all of those things. But also I kind of get caught up in doing those things because my mind is off of whatever is frustrating me while I'm cooking or while I'm cleaning or while I'm with the kid. But when you're making that sacrifice, this is what we as people have to learn to do. We have to learn to look at the whole person. Right? There is a financial part of me that needs ministering to. There's a physical part of me that needs to be ministered to. There is a spiritual part of, I think I said physical, but I'm gonna say it again. All of this, like there are so many parts of me that need to be ministered to. There are different parts of me that you're gonna have to sacrifice for, and vice versa. So when we're sacrificing, men, and I'm telling you from a woman's perspective, because this had me going nuts. I don't know which camera I'm looking at because this is gonna bless somebody's marriage. This is gonna bless somebody. My husband will work to provide for his family. Hands down. I didn't have to worry about if this man was going to work or quit a job because he was going to work. But I was missing him. I didn't have my partner. I felt because I was like, I ain't want to be nobody, baby mama. I'm with the kid by myself. I need a break. I'm just going crazy. I just want to be in love. I want to be happy. And I want to run through the flowers holding hands. But I didn't have anyone to do that with because he was always working. And then when he wasn't working, we were at church. So now I'm beefing with the church. Because the time my man do have, y'all taking it from me and I'm angry. So then when you come home, you have to deal with that anger and you don't even know why I'm angry. I got hormones out of whack. Yeah. These babies driving me crazy. And you ain't never there. So what have you learned from that? And you know what? I couldn't tell you that. I could not articulate how I was really feeling and what I was really going through emotionally and spiritually. God literally had to speak to you and tell you to come back home because your baby was driving me crazy. I was locked up in that apartment with that baby. He was driving me crazy. And again, I think we had church. You left. You went on the road to go to another church. You came back and you had to go to work. And I was like, what? And I literally was going crazy. But God had to speak to you so that you wouldn't tear up your house. Yes. Because like my mind was like, listen, shoot, you can go back home to your mama. But I knew that with you, I couldn't go home with my mom. I had to skip state because you crazy.
Nah, just leave my baby.
I wasn't leaving the baby. What are you, crazy?
Leave my child and you go gas up, do what you got to do, bro. Stay in there. Don't take my kid now.
But how real was that for you, though?
Well, I think it's vice versa, which is good because number two, first was start with God. Number two is what you lead with. You said communication and survival. You couldn't communicate or articulate what
I didn't know how or what to say.
Vice versa, it's just like you felt like a single mom. I mean, I'm single working. You see what I'm saying? Just like you staying at home, I'm gone all the time.
But this is what's really crazy.
It's like I would rather flip roles. You go to work.
This is really crazy because I felt like I was helping by not having the daycare bill, and I'm staying at home, so I'm thinking like it's helping us with our finances. But
it ain't.
We were never communicating.
It ain't communicating. Then if you saying communication survival, I can't read your mind, and it's twofold because people can.
I didn't want to be the nagging wife
either.
Have
different stuff because then somebody complained that a man ain't working. I wish he was working more. I wish he would go get an extra job. So it can happen twofold. Both of those can be a problem. You could be.
So you have to balance.
You could be one the string like I am. Every time
you would.
Every time she say something, all I heard was dollar sign. So you say kid need Pampers. Oh, he can't have this kind of formula. He allergic. So then this formula he throw up if he had this. So now this new formula, it costs $15 more than the original formula. The original formula was already high. So all thing you just told me for that extra 15, that's an extra another 4 hours. I gotta go work. That's all I'm hearing. So every time you bring up something that a kid need, pamper need, you thought about this for Christmas, you want this, the only thing in my mind like them hours. So the only thing I knew to compensate for what it is that you bringing up, not knowing you just talking, because you saying it wasn't just you saying you want stuff. It's just you having communication. But on my end, every time you bringing up an issue, the way I'm wired as a man is to fix the problem. What I know gonna fix the problem is more money. That's it. Every time you bring up something, more money gonna fix the problem. So that's what I was looking at. But back to both parties not communicating.
Yeah.
I'm thinking one thing, you thinking one thing, and now I'm assuming. And then I project on you what I think a role should be. And what I say all the time, I ain't never tell you to cook for me. I ain't never tell you gotta wash my clothes. I ain't never tell you gotta do that. It's just your own perception of what you feel a woman is based on what your grandma taught you and what you learned.
There's a way I thought it should be done.
And then for me, it's the way, same thing, the way I taught should have been done, the way Rosemary taught me growing up. And then my father, when he came into my life, he added another icing on top of what I didn't learn from her. I'm getting up in the middle of the night, answering the door with crackheads and stuff at 8, 9 years old. That lady wake me up. Still, hey, somebody at the door. I'm a kid. What you mean?
So somebody at the door.
I used to go get the BB gun to go answer the door. So you got that. I used to leave the house with a fork or a knife or something in my pocket. I'm always ready to defend. So I'm always been wired to protect, to provide. open the door for my mama as a kid, get the groceries out the car as a kid. I'm responsible for washing the car as a kid. So I'm already wired to be somebody's little husband because I was a little husband growing up. You see what I'm saying? Taking care of everything. So when I come into a marriage, it's the same way. If you bring up something, then I'm taking care of the problem because that's what I think. And plus all the extra little nagging stuff I hear women saying because I'm around these missionaries and hey, that's a weak back jelly back man. Oh, he'll sorry married. He lazy. He can't keep a job and he ain't gonna do this. So I'm hearing all this. Oh, he trifling. Oh, he a hoe mom. He a horse man. So I got to hear all this. So I'm hearing these women talk about all these different males that they don't like. So then I start formulating in my head of what a man is. Remember, I don't have a picture of a man. So then you got Rambo and RoboCop and all this G.I. Joe when I'm little.
All this fighting and violence. That was your picture.
That's my picture. So then that's what I become. RoboCop, Rambo, Black Rambo. I become this picture. And then don't add the church on top of it. So when you add the military and then the rules from the church, I become this picture in my head of what a perfect man is supposed to be. And that's what I start striving to be, which is almost like a false sense of humility because I'm trying to be something that ain't even real. You know what I'm saying? I'm projecting in my mind, this is what a man should be based on what I seen on TV, what I heard nagging women say at church, side stuff I heard in rumors, and then I put all that together and just try to make something. And that's what I've been dealing with until I come into the knowledge of my father. He started working with me, talking to him, and then a lot of room and still stuff I'm learning and unpacking. Yeah. Even in front of my boys, as I raise them, I'm learning and unpacking. So communication is vital. You'll kill a marriage or relationship if you cannot clearly talk. And talking doesn't mean verbally talking like we're doing now, because you could do this and the person still don't hear.
Listen.
Person don't even know what you said.
What your sister say? Listen. You gotta listen.
A person be out here, man.
Let me tell you, in verses 21 and 22 of Genesis chapter 2, it says God created a suitable helper for him, right? We talking about for Adam, okay? He did not make us from the earth, but he made Eve from Adam's side so that they could walk side by side, navigating through life and growing together, right? She didn't come from above or underneath or from the same dirt that he came from, but I'm a part, or she was a part of him. And I think that in marriage, you have to see yourself as a part of that person and a partner to that person. If you don't think of yourself as a partner, you're not going to communicate. Yeah. And that's something that we had to learn to do. And I was no fool. I knew I had a good man. I did not want to. It was like I was battling leaving, not because I didn't want to be with you, right? Because I wanted to be with you. I just didn't want to be nobody baby mama. And I was really feeling baby mama-ish. But I knew what I had. So then I had to learn to start talking to God. And when I started talking to him, he started talking to you. Yeah. And then eventually we started talking to each other and we started communicating a little bit more, saying what we like and didn't like, saying what we need and what we're angry about. And for me, like, you be ready. You be like, what's wrong? And then you want to talk right then. I'm like, well, let me process and think about it. And you didn't like that. So that was irritating too. But I had to learn to kind of process and try to process a little bit faster so that we could communicate. And I think oftentimes we don't look at ourselves as the suitable partner we were created to be because some of us are too busy trying to prove that I can work, I can take care of myself. I don't need a man. I want a man. Or, you know, we're trying so hard to prove something that we miss the big picture and we could lose out on a good thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So make sure that when you're in your marriage or you're in your relationship and you know you're getting to that point, open up and talk about your needs, your wants, your desires. What makes you, what's making you tick right now? What's angering you? But to get to that point where you are talking openly and freely, you got to first view yourself as a part of that individual and a partner to that individual. And that's what I see in 21 and 22. Because, you know, I be reading these different versions, mostly NLT, sometimes NIV. And it said that God created a suitable partner, not from the earth, but from Adam's side.
Yeah. And that's the key word, that suitable part. That part of your picking and acknowledging what their role is and understanding that. And then understanding yourself, because as you understand yourself, you kind of know how you can move and you can share with that person, this is my insecurity, this is what I want to work on. But you don't even know to talk about that, because communication is survival. Nobody talk about the negative stuff. When you're in a relationship, it's like everybody show up like you do when you fill out the application. You be lying. Always on time. I never call in.
Always
I want this job. This is my dream job. You lying. You lying. You don't even. As soon as you get your first couple off days,
I'm gonna cook for him. I'm gonna clean for him. I'm gonna have his babies. As soon as you have that baby, he can cook. He can wash his own clothes. I'm not his mama.
But just the mindset, and even that mindset in this generation, almost like, well, I'm serving a man. I ain't for the serve. And it's so weird because everybody different. Now, that's not to slight nobody. Because if you got the funds or the money or whatever, by convenience or whatever. Because I'm not the mechanic guy. That's not me. I'm not going to change the oil. That's not me at all. We can go to the thing to get the oil changed, but that's not me. But you don't make me feel bad or shame me because I don't do cars like that. That's not me. You can have a man that'll tell you, oh, let me hear it. Hey, step on the gas. Oh, yeah. That sounds like transmission. Me, I don't know what it sounds like. It sounds like it's going to stop. So we need to go get it fixed before it stops. That's what we need to go do. And I live with a mechanic. And I'm telling you right now, that's never been me. And my thing is, I always been comfortable embracing me. Now, what I had to work on is articulate, hey, I'm comfortable in my own skin. Like, that's not me. And so when you understand that, you can move in a marriage better. That matter. Like, she like to put stuff together, and God bless me with a son that like to do engineering and put stuff together. That's not me at all. Because as soon as you open that box and I see them instructions, oh, man. If you want me to do it, because I'll do it, but if you want me to do it, I'm not going to go through all them instructions.
Listen, so Nathan do stuff because he ain't finna read no instructions. It don't matter
about that screw. Use another screw. It don't matter.
But it's gonna fall apart.
Tighten it up. Put some glue on it. Long as it get done, that's what we're gonna do.
So I know what's happening in my house.
But I'm saying that's cool because now we have a good understanding. Like, if we're gonna do this, I would just buy it. And I always been like that.
And see, early on in marriage, I'm like, okay, this is man's stuff. This is the stuff he's supposed to be doing. If I'm taking care of the house, you put the stuff together. But after watching and observing, I said, okay, he don't follow instructions because he don't want to read the pamphlet. Right. So I think I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, period.
Because you not gonna do it right.
That's it. And it'd be vice versa if I say about her iron. She is not for the iron nothing. Don't let her iron nothing. They would get clothes out the washer, dry. This is my kids too, the same way.
Listen.
So except Trey iron.
I don't want to iron no clothes.
But the thing is, it'll be like, that's woman duty. A woman's for the iron. No, if you're better at the ironing.
We are partners.
Yeah, I iron her dress in a minute. I ain't trying, hey, baby, you bump it. Yeah, I bump it. Because I know what you about to do. You finna hit it in the dryer and pull that thing out.
Indeed.
And then look down when you put on it like you surprised. Hey, it's wrinkles in there. Did you iron it? Yeah, it's gonna be wrinkles in there. You ain't no starch and no. But I'm saying that's back to what we said at first. Communication is survival. And then a person is communicating with you not only just verbally. When you married, you watch their body language and how they respond to, okay, I see every time I bring that up, that person kind of hinged a little bit. Maybe we need to discuss that at a better time.
You look at my face.
Oh, man, her face got 1,000 words.
But sometimes I don't be tripping. Yeah. I don't even know my face be doing what it be doing sometimes.
But my job tell me to watch body language. That's how somebody get killed. You sitting there talking to somebody. And they telling you all the time they not gonna put their hand behind their back. So you better be able to read when them knuckles ball up and they clench. So that's how I do it. I'm talking to people like, okay, that person not listening to nothing I'm saying. Like, oh, okay. Because her and my sister had this thing that they like to do. And they used to do this all the time. So Tyrone, if you watching, I'm getting you tips.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Okay. And then my wife like to say, now, all right, baby, okay, baby. All the time, be like, shut up, baby. That's
what he hears when I say that.
Because she ain't been more listening to what I'm saying, but she don't want to argue, so she hit you with the okay, baby, so it can sound like I'm in agreement with you. And then you come back and ask 3 days later, I ain't never say. You say, okay, baby. Okay, baby was, please shut up right now, because I don't want to talk to you and I'm not listening. So I had to
my
find a
goodness.
different way, come back, talk later. But it's cool then. So when you know that, like, okay, she ain't listening. I just wait till it's better. And then she's a morning person, not an evening person, which is crazy because my schedule
And that
upside
you
down.
will always want to talk to me in the evening
but
time
I
when
work
you know
night.
I'm going down.
I work nights though.
Woo-hoo!
So I'm up at night.
I go to sleep. I'm down at night.
I go to sleep in the morning. So you got that conflict in schedule. So then I had to learn, okay, it's gonna be better to talk to her in the morning time. So you will have more communication when she going to work and I'm leaving work. Oh, this is an awesome time.
Because I gotta help you stay up.
She talking
and I'm ready.
Boom, boom, boom. And then I'm being alert because I gotta drive an hour to come home. Boom. There you go. You got dialogue going on.
Yeah.
So all we learn too, for us, it's better for us to do brunch. Because I'm getting off soon as breakfast hit, or she just getting up at that time. So we can have brunch, which end up being my dinner, is her breakfast. She can stay up the rest of the day, and then I'm finna go knock out in the bed. It's like finding a fine time that makes sense for you. Because that might not be for everybody. Everybody else might, we have family dinner. Well, we have brunch. That's what works for my family. I got off at night, come do service, have service. We all go sit down and have brunch together. And then I'm going to bed. They still up. I can't say, well, most pastors or most people have family dinner with their family and they eat at 5 o'clock. Well, we not most. Everybody different. So if that's the case, don't try to make your situation like somebody else or like you saw at your home. That's a picture of what you saw. Then you got to bring that picture into the pattern that fits your life. Yeah. Because your situation might not fit the same.
I want to say that sometimes we try to make ourselves be what we think the other person wants. Yeah. So we try to conform to whatever. Yeah. We before you know, we in identity crisis because I'm trying to do this and be this person, and I'm trying to do this and be this person, and I never find me. Yeah. Something that the scripture says is that when God presented Eve to Adam, Adam responded by recognizing Eve as a part of himself. Yeah. Adam responded by recognizing Eve as a part of himself, and God didn't say, "Hey, this right here is your girl. Yeah, no. I want y'all to be together."
He looked at it and said,
and make these babies to replenish the earth, and we're gonna start with y'all. Adam himself had to look,
bone my bone, flesh my
respond. Flesh. He looked, he responded.
And I want to say, when the scripture said God presented to us, he had the opportunity to reject what God presented. He really could, because you got
I can see that.
But when he seen her, he automatically said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Because when he saw her,
how you knew when you was knocked out?
Because it was a piece of him. He knew when he saw her, that was missing. Because what just got took out of me, that's actually what I need. And that's what you should be looking for in a partner. When you see that partner, it's like almost opposite attract. We say that all the time, but it's almost a natural spiritual thing that God did. That person almost have the other stuff that you don't have. And sometimes you'll see different environments or how that person was brought up was totally different from yours, is because God trying to make a masterpiece out of both. It's very similar. Very rarely you see people they just alike when they marry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Both of them loud. Now it's always one loud, one little quiet. Both of them kind of
one light, one dark.
Oh, there you go. The color. It's like, well, she got a color scheme thing.
No, don't tell the people my secret.
Going in that she try to hold people to. But I'm talking about like most of the time they have they value system, and then the value system is almost baseline that we seen that be healthy. I think with us, the value system, because our parents were in church.
Some of the same values.
Yeah, you being raised.
The way we got to those values was different, which was intriguing to us because we got there different ways.
Yeah. And so then it's just that mixture of what you needed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't really come from a very family-oriented environment, but she does. And then so that's something that was missing on my end. But then at the same time, getting you out of share, bold, confrontational. She don't come from that. Then you get with me, you getting a little bit of that too. So then,
but even when y'all not arguing, I thought you were.
Yeah. But it helped you though. Like, nah, I ain't even let that slide or let that go. Let me speak up and say something, because you're around it. And then you start kind of being similar and growing, especially after 20 years of being together, a little bit and rub off on each other, because that two is becoming one flesh. And how you do that, because two things begin to die to self and then they become that one. And that's part of which, when you say communication through survival, that's Judges 16, going there talking about Samson and Delilah. which is very important because Samson is looking for peace. But then at the same time, it looked like Delilah is looking for protection or provision, let's say, because she getting money or whatever the next say. So the man saying, why you tormenting me? Why you keep asking about my house, about my hair? This is the communication. But it never really says that he divulged himself. He talked about his hair at the end and tell him that's where his secret and stuff is. So he must got to a level of comfort with her through communication and talking with her. There's nothing really in the scripture that says that it's
he was at such peace that he started sharing stuff he wasn't going, like, he didn't have any intentions of telling her, but he was just so relaxed and at peace and just chill.
Then I say it's
that
the personal agenda behind the conversation too. Like, what did she want to achieve from what the conversation was? And that's why when you dating or talking to somebody, what is your agenda? Are you just trying to sleep with me, or are we just trying to, what are we doing? Is this just a thing for you? I don't like no names, don't put no titles on this. I just want to see where this goes. Man,
I'm gonna need a title.
But this was crazy. You wouldn't do that in the car if you got in an Uber driver. Hey, we just gonna, I'm just gonna drive. I got a half a tank of gas. We're gonna see where we go. Man, I'm not getting in the car with you, bro. I put in the Uber. I'm trying to go northbound, and you talking about, well, we just want to, I don't know what traffic look like. We just gonna, nothing else in your life. You say, I'm gonna see where it goes, but then you'll trust somebody with 3 years,
your heart,
5
with your emotions,
years,
with your
years.
spirit.
And then here it is, y'all done wasted so much time. You done been with this person long and never went nowhere because it was never a plan to go anywhere. Yeah. I just wanted some. You know what I'm saying? you could have just said that.
What you wanted?
Come on now, you could have said that. That's PG-13 TV. So that was the only intention so this was never about anything. And so when that person got their quote-unquote trophy out of the situation, you wonder
now they
got this now they done with the situation, and you left feeling empty or lost because that person's intention wasn't pure, they lying. And that's why it's good, put stuff on the table. Let's not play. Nowhere else do that. You can't just, hey, I just want to test drive. I don't have no intention in buying. But man, get off the lot. People not finna waste my time and test drive 3-4 different cars. You went from a sedan to a Suburban. Now you go from a 4-door SUV. Now you want a coupe. Then now I was looking at one of those trikes. I don't even know if I want to try. I want to just start walking from now. Like, you are crazy. But if you think about it, that's what people be doing in a relationship. You be like, I thought. Then you like, they don't even look like the last person. Then that's weird. Like, what is it? Because normally people have MO, a motive. They have a certain type that they kind of lead to or follow to. But you have those people that are sporadic because you have no goal, no agenda as it relates to relationship. Yeah. And that's why it's good vibe communication. What do this look like? And I think that was different with us. Even though we was young, like you said, you 15 praying, get married.
I was 14 when I said that prayer.
So you 14 talking about getting married. Lord have mercy. So then I'm 15.
I knew what I wanted.
I said my calling. I understand marriage is a part of that because I'm like, I don't want to be those preachers that get caught up with multiple women. Once I accept my calling for real, like I feel like God called me to do something major. One of the weaknesses I know that men have, 2 things, is money and women. So I'm like, God, I need to get to some money. And I need to get to it the right way because I know the wrong way to get to it. And then I want to try to find me a woman that is pleasing to me, somebody I want to be with in the whole 9 yards. And please make that happen. And he made that happen. And with our parents, shout out to our parents that made that happen. But communication was surviving that.
Sure.
First, that communication to him because you praying about it. And then me, likewise, I'm praying and communicating as well. And he ordered our steps according to those prayers.
Yeah.
And that's a child prayer, but
but it was sincere.
He say,
like, he know my heart for real.
And
then I think the reason I can pray that is because I'm looking at my grandmother and my mom and my aunts, and I'm seeing this whole picture of family, and that's what I wanted. I was at my happiest when the family was together, and I watched the women, take care of the house and make things happen, and the men went out to work and stuff. So I wasn't stuck on trying to be like a 1940s, 1950s woman. I really thought we was going to get in that part together with the cooking and the cleaning because I like the idea of us cooking together and all of that stuff. But when I saw that you like to make a little mess when you cook and I clean and cook at the same time, I was like, I just got it, baby. I got it. And that just works for us.
But I can do breakfast.
You do breakfast, but it wasn't that you could not
It's
do.
It's how
it was how you do.
How I do it.
And I would just much much rather just do it,
yeah.
you know.
And that's how I communicate. I must rather let you do it. I'm not fighting. Yeah, that's our first day in a relationship. She don't like how I fold or cook or do that. Hey,
there's a way I like it, so I rather just
especially if you gonna undo it. Like if you undo it and I just
oh my gosh,
and you undo it, nah, I'm not folding no more time.
Listen, a point that I wanted to make before you start ranting about folding.
But you finally said in 20 years, I prefer this fold like that. I said, baby, you could did it 20 years ago.
That wasn't no 20 years ago. That was sometime back.
You just did that this year. You just said this.
But we talking about that sometime back. But I'm saying
you just took the time and you even showed the boys like, hey, I prefer. You could
I show y'all all the time.
No, you could have saved yourself a lot of effort.
Nathan, how many times have I showed you how to fold some towels? Oh my gosh!
Good son.
Oh,
that's a good son. That's a good son.
Leftovers.
That's a good
leftovers. Okay.
That's a good
son.
But
look, that's a squirrel we just chased because Nathan will side with his dad.
Oh, good son.
No.
He started righteousness.
No.
Righteousness.
Let's get to this point I was trying to make. Okay. And I struggle with this myself. So I believe that there's somebody else out there who may be struggling with it or have struggled with it. You'll get in a relationship with a person or you'll desire a relationship so bad that you never show who you truly are. You're never who you are meant to be. You always try to be what you think that person wants or what you think people think you guys should look like in a relationship. That was a struggle for me for a while because like in the church arena, people wanted me to be you. Yeah. Trying to find my place in ministry and all of that stuff, it was taunting because I'm not going to be you. I like you, but I'm not going to be you. Yeah. And the pressure of trying to be like you. And people had me feeling like, okay, maybe I don't compliment him. So what do I do to compliment him? So I might try a couple things, then feel very uncomfortable doing it because that's not me. Come on. You are the messiest person. You are the messy person.
Somebody call Selena, man.
I feel like when Adam recognized Eve, he was like, okay, this is me, right? In that, I believe that it gave her a sense of confidence. It gave her a sense of assurance, and it gave her some identity. Yeah. Like some of your identity does come from your partner, right? Because when a person is together for a long time, people start saying, oh, they kind of look like, or, oh, you picking up your husband ways, or you picking up your wife ways, because your mom would say it all the time, because we've spent time together investing in one another. You will start to change a little bit. Yeah. So I believe that when Adam recognized Eve, he acknowledged her. It helped to build who she was. Okay. So that now I'm going back to 21st century. When people come around, because in the 21st century, people going to be around and they always got something to say. They have an opinion. They have a comment or a post that they want to post. And that plays with your emotions. It plays with your thinking because you're like, okay, maybe I should have did it this way, or maybe it should be this way. And then we never get confident in who we were meant to be. Yeah. I was so stuck on trying to make sure that I complimented you in ministry, that home was your safe space and that we had peace in our home, that I was becoming angry. Okay. Like you would say, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Because I was trying to figure it out. And it was not until I said, you know what? I said, Lord, I need you to mold me and make me so that I can compliment this man, but so that I can be who you've called me to be, and I can be happy and genuinely at peace. Like I'm genuinely in a place where I can authentically laugh. Like I'm laughing because something funny, not because I'm hiding my pain. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that as women, we have to, and sometimes it's not going to be a man there to say, that's me. That's a part of me. But there's something that you are connected to, or someone that you are connected to, that is going to have to recognize us, right? And when we don't have that person, we have to recognize through God's word that, hey, this is how I'm created. This is God's purpose and plan for me. And this is what I need to be walking in. Because until you become whole within yourself and happy within yourself and know who you are and who you're meant to be, you would never get in a relationship and truly become one with the person. You're going to always be combative. You're going to always be in an argument and disagreeing because you don't even know who you are. You're going to always feel used because you might get a man who recognizes that. So now he's telling you what to do and he's bossing you. And then that makes you feel some type of way. You know what I mean? Right. So find who you are and be genuinely, authentically you, because if you already got a man, that's probably what attracted him to you. And if you're looking for a man, that's going to be the thing that attracts him to you.
Right. That's good. I think that communication, that lifeline that you need to actually articulate what you're feeling, what you're going through, like you said, and projecting on the other person what you think your role is and what you want done. And I think the moment for me, like moment of clarity, I think we was in our third year of ministry at Impact North in Shreveport when we just doing ministry. And I said, well, if it wasn't ministry or anything, I'd always be you. And you start boohooing and crying. Like, for me, like, it's telling me, like, why are you crying behind something like that? That's like common knowledge. But in your mind, you ain't never heard me say that, or you didn't feel like that. You felt like I was putting that first. And that's when I was like, okay, so the thing is, okay, I can see how you could feel that way if I made sacrifice and I could cough up a couple $100 if this need this for that and that. And maybe you feel like you're not getting that, but I'm looking at what we're trying to build and business. I can see how you could feel that way. Okay, let me shift it. Okay, if you need this, or let's just blow some money on you, or do this just to show. You know what I'm saying? Same thing if it would have been a ministry. Like, because I don't think it was necessary for me to say, because I'm like, I was with you before ministry. So I don't like, why in the world would I have to even, why would that even be a thought? If we was together before ministry even happened, I wouldn't even assume you already know that's a second to that if I was here first. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking.
But you know how we say men are logical?
Thinking like that, like we was already together, something that comes second behind. This didn't even exist before you.
We talk about how men are always logical thinkers and women are emotional. Yeah. And I am an emotional creature, even though, I don't be crying and doing all this stuff, but I really am emotional, right? I'm created that way. You could have said it and I would have never known because I only went by how I felt in the moment. Mm. So when you would leave church and then go to work and then get off work and then come back to church, and then I'm like, well, hello, I'm here. Regardless of what you said, it was the action that made me feel a certain type of way. And for us, okay, ministry, right? But for somebody else, you may be giving your all to your family and not taking care of your home or your man, right? You may be giving all to the kids or to the job and not giving to your house, your partner, this person who you are a part of, you're supposed to be a part of or in partnership with. If you are doing that, maybe it's time to sit down and recalibrate. Yeah. Because it's in the recalibration that you guys learn to communicate and talk and discuss your feelings and your thoughts and your aspirations. Because if we are in partnership together, I would think that we are partnering to get the business to the next level. We got the same end goal, right? In this partnership, in this marriage, in this family that we've created, the end goal is the same. We just had to get to the starting line together.
Yeah. Pull out again. That's good. So it says, start with God first. Communicate for survival. Let's get this last one for the third one. It says, forgiveness is the superpower. Forgiveness is the superpower. It's talking about Hosea and Gomer.
Oh,
nah, that ain't
go,
really
go,
me.
go.
Cause I never even went there. Like, I don't even read it. So I know the story, and I think we went over in Sunday school a couple times, but that's one of the ones I had to God had to help me with. I'm still learning on forgiveness and let stuff go. I think I told the church earlier when I was preaching, I deal with rejection.
Yes.
So rejection, anger, forgiveness, they're all cousins and brothers and sisters. And so it's a mixture.
It still go back to communication because you crazy. Stop doing that. So it still goes back to communication because I did not understand what you felt about rejection and stuff. So I just got to the point, like, okay, I ain't gonna tell him no to keep us from arguing.
Tell me no about what?
Like, stop. I mean, like, you know, like you ask me something, you want to do something. I just don't tell you no because I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was because you didn't articulate that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I told you something was wrong.
Yeah. it's some soul searching. Like some stuff on top of the surface. And I say this, some about sanctified folks, we got what we call hidden sins or strongholds and weights that so easily beset us. And that's stuff that we don't talk about. We don't talk about stuff that easily beset us. Because nobody want to mention about talking about we heavy on sin and or cast off the things of the flesh. Because we don't deal with that either. We automatically just put that in the box of sin, but he didn't say that. It's true to everything. When things of the flesh or things that you get tied to in the flesh, or you just doing works of the flesh. That's what we're going to talk about, works of the flesh. He's talking about works of the flesh. We automatically think everything fleshly is sin. If that's the case, when God created us, he created sin. You know what I'm saying? It'd be ignorant. He wanted us to enjoy our human nature. He wouldn't have put us in there. We took it and take it and do something unnatural with it. That's the sinful part. But sometimes just some of the works of the flesh is wrong. Stuff we doing is wrong. So that's what I learned then with me. Like, okay, this is not necessarily sin because the Bible said, be ye angry and sin not. So you can be angry. He's saying don't let the action behind the anger cause you to sin. Then he come back and say stuff like this. Excuse me, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. So he's telling you it should be a certain period of time. You need to get that off you. And he suggests before the sun go down, let that go. Me, I'm like, he ain't say what day though. So I'm holding stuff, and that's my problem. I had to learn to forgive. And I learned that sometimes forgiving don't mean that you're going to get apology. That sometimes you got to be willing to step up and forgive, which is a hard thing to do. And I also say this because that's not, it's kind of hard because it's really not a biblical principle as it relates to, because God don't just forgive. You got to ask for forgiveness. See what I'm saying? So he said the principle, but in that, sometimes freeing yourself from a situation, even though you ain't got closure from that person, sometimes you got to close it. Like, even though that person asked for forgiveness, I'm releasing it from me. But it don't mean that person got an open door to come back. I had to learn that. That's a level of maturity. And then I had to learn that's something that get me. So it's an encouragement on that. Yeah. So superpower of forgiveness. We had to dive into that. Hosea, y'all read it on your own. So go all the way. That's a crazy one that I think God charged that man of God to deal with.
So if you didn't get anything else from today, how were we able to maintain for God. 20 years? We started with God. We learned to communicate.
Survival. And the superpower, learn. Forgive fast, man. The makeup is better anyway. Forgive fast. Forgive fast. It's too easy to forgive. Let it go. Especially, I tell people all the time, if you stay in it, let it go. Let it go.
Let it go.
So listen, we say appreciate you, love you, thank you for pouring in. Make sure you tag a couple, share this, tell somebody we're going dumb
all
the
week
whole
long.
month.
We're talking
all
about
month long. We're dealing with 20 principles we learned from 20 years of marriage. Listen, this is evidence, this is proof that a marriage can last and stand the test
if you wanted to last.
If you wanted to and make it happen. Listen, if you like to support and those that continue to support, we say thank you.
Thank you.
Like
thank
support,
you.
Make sure you give
like
by way
video,
of
share
cash out.
This video.
I can 365. That's the way we're able to do what we need to do to keep doing. We say thank you, grace and peace.
Until next time.
Until next time.